सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। आत्मा त्वं गिरिजामतिः सहचराः प्राणाः शरीरं गृहम् पूजाते हृदयोपभोगरचना निद्रा समाधिस्थितिः संचार पदयो प्रदक्षिण विधि स्तोत्राणि सर्वा गिरो यद्यत् कर्म करोमि तत्तदखिलम् शम्भो तवाराधनम्। करचरण कृतं वाक् कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वा पराधं विहितमविहितं वा सर्वमेतत् क्षमस्व। जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो। जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to all of you to this very special webinar, because Rajan Bhai has made a comeback after 2 weeks, and he is going to speak to us about a very special topic: how we can make use of dreams for our spiritual upliftment. And dreams are something that have been a topic of wide interest. We are all intrigued by dreams. So the secret of dreams is going to be unraveled today. And I would request Rajan Bhai to please take the session. So welcome, Rajan Bhai.
Sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. So today we are going to talk about sleep and dreams. And we're going to divide this into 3 parts. One is becoming conscious of the dream, which today is called as lucid dreaming. The second is dream yoga, where we work on our inner sanskars through the dream. And later on, the very deeper aspect of sleep yoga. So there would be 3 parts to this. I think mainly today we'll talk about the first and second part. Now, why do we sleep? Why do we dream? And this is a question which, as far as science is concerned, they are still exploring it, and so they really don't have a proper answer. So we can say many things. That science says that we boost our immune system when we sleep, we prevent disease when we sleep, the body flushes out toxins when we sleep, there's a lot of repair work going on in the body when we sleep, etc., etc. But yoga talks of some dream yoga has come from Tibet. and it was a part of the Tibetan Vajrayana Buddhism. But even in our Shastra, there are places where it has been talked about, and one of the best, what do you call, conversations is between the Rishi Yagnavalkya and the king Janak in the Brihad Aranyak Upanishad. So there is, but they have not talked of any techniques or anything about dream yoga over there. Now, yoga gives an answer to why we need to sleep. And this yoga says that we need to sleep to integrate memory. Now, this is the real function of sleep according to yoga. Of course, like we said, science says so many things. Even Ayurveda says so many things like balancing the 5 elements, etc., etc. Now, before we go into this, what do we know about memory? And memory is of various kinds. There is an intellectual memory, there is an emotional memory, there is a moving memory, there is a, what you call, instinctive memory. But mainly for our purpose, Mr. Tauria divided memory into 2 parts: short-term memory and deep memory. Shallow memory and deep memory. I meet you today and I remember your name tomorrow is shallow memory. I study for my exams is shallow memory. But I meet someone and I am getting angry at the same time. So there are 2 memories here being recorded. One is of the event that I'm meeting someone, and one is of my inner state. This inner state of anger, that you see, the other person is not angry. I am angry. I am giving my body-brain system, or if we call it in yoga, the chitta, I'm forcing my chitta to live through the experience of anger. And this is stored separately from the short-term memory where I meet you. So this is called an experiential memory. In Shastra, in yoga, we call it a sanskar. In this moment, I gave myself the sanskar of anger. And each moment, the sanskar may change. I may be giving a big donation somewhere. So the outer event is a very good event of giving a donation. But inside, my ego is gloating that, oh, what a big donor am I? What a good boy am I? Right? So I am giving my chitta, my body-brain system, the sanskar, the experience of self-love or pride. So these are 2 separate memories being recorded in 2 different ways. And we have to see this because it is through dreams that we are going to work on this memory. Yeah. Ketav has prepared some slides, so I'll just try to show you. So we have a shallow memory of the event outside and the impression I give my chitta of what is happening inside. Now, we live in 2 dimensions of time. One is a horizontal dimension of time, where time moves from birth to death. This is my linear dimension of time. This is made up of small dots, or small dots we call present moments. We join those present moments. The mind joins those present moments. It creates a memory of those present moments. And I am say 66 years old. So I have a memory of myself from 1 to 66, which is my linear memory, which is my shallow memory. So, but we also, each moment of time, each dot of time is cut by a vertical time, The soul enters into our time from another dimension of time. This must be understood. And the body being in this linear dimension of time, the body falls down, the soul goes back to where it came from. So this soul has entered into this present moment where I was born. It has entered into that present moment from a vertical dimension of time. I don't know if I'm coming across. So we live in these two dimensions of time, the horizontal dimension from birth to death, where all the events of life are happening. Now we know that the soul lies in this vertical dimension of time. So anything I want to feed to the soul, any experience I want to give to the soul, it has to move from this linear dimension of time to the vertical dimension of time. And this has to be understood for every spiritual student, because anything we change in our lives is in this linear dimension of time, in the horizontal dimension of time. I may stop wearing t-shirts and I may wear orange clothes. Or I may say I'm living in the city and the city is too crowded, etc. Let me go and live on a, what do you call, secluded spot on the beach, and maybe I can meditate all 24 hours. But that does not work, because where I have to approach is in that vertical dimension of time, and everything that I'm changing is in this linear dimension of time. So changing of clothes, changing of name, changing of place to stay, etc. Right? Maybe having a divorce, nothing's going to help. Now, today I got angry on you, and tomorrow I get angry on somebody else. So we have two events in a linear dimension of time. The event of getting angry on you, the event on getting angry on somebody else. These are two separate events in my linear dimension of time. But the repetition of the anger in this linear dimension of time, in this horizontal time, pushes that anger into the vertical dimension of time. And that anger now, as a sanskar, binds the soul. I don't know if I'm coming across it. You have another one? Yeah. Right. So what happens is that every time the anger is repeated, it is pushed deeper into this vertical dimension of time, and it's so accumulates there. It becomes sanskar. The physical body may die on this, what do you call, linear dimension, but what lies that vertical dimension of time does not die with death. If only anger could die with death. Now, Mr. Tavaria said that he's had later on we'll maybe one day go into his brain diagrams, and he has different brain diagrams where he describes different parts of the brain, and the front brain, the forebrain, he calls as brain 1, and the memory brain he calls as 2A and 2B. 2A is shallow memory. 2B is deep memory. Deep memory is all the sanskars which are binding my soul. They are lying in a different dimension of time. Now, when I get angry, say from that deep memory, one anger comes out. I get angry on somebody else, it becomes anger number 2. So 1 + 1, 2 go back, and in that vertical dimension of time, my intensity of anger has increased. The soul is now in more bondage. Now, if one anger comes out from there and I observe that anger and I don't get angry, then that anger cannot go back unless it takes a friend with it. And in that moment, the anger dies. And there is intensity in anger. There is intensity in all negative emotions. And I take that intensity and use it as a part of my meditation, as a part of my spiritual growth. Let me explain this in another way. I'm very tired. I can't lift a limb. But somebody I dislike very much suddenly comes in the room and I feel this surge of anger. I had no energy 1 minute ago, but now I have enough of energy to call him all kinds of names and everything, right? So that anger which has come out of brain 2B, that anger which has come from the vertical dimension of time into the linear dimension of time, that anger has intensity, it has force hidden in it. The minute I become aware of it, I observe that anger, I free myself from that anger, that force becomes mine. I use it for my spiritual growth. So we must understand this. This force is called as Kundalini. So in this deeper brain of this deeper anger, where all these patterns are lying, there is a tremendous amount of force lying. My teacher, Mr. Tauria, used to call this force as resultant intensity. And now, in our normal meditation, when we sit for meditation or anything we do, we cannot enter into brain 2B. If a anger comes out of the brain, we can observe that anger, but we can't go into the brain to see all the anger which we have accumulated this lifetime or anything. Our whole time body is lying over there. So we cannot directly enter into that brain. Our consciousness cannot go into that brain in normal circumstances. But when we are dreaming at night, the dreams at the later stage of night, not at the beginning of the night, the dreams which come towards morning, they are all coming out of that brain 2B. The valve opens. Instead of it being a one-way valve where something can come out, it cannot go in. Suddenly now in that dream state, we can enter into that state. We can look at all what we have accumulated over lifetimes, and consciously we can work upon it. And this is the beauty of course, not just lucid dreaming, but dream yoga. And this is why we practice dream yoga. Now, so this is the main thing, that what happens is that in the night, memory gets sorted out. The first thing, this is the most important function of dreaming and sleep. The first sorting is done by painful and not painful. And the consciousness goes through the day and brings up on the screen of the mind those events of the day which have been painful. And in the dream, in the early part of the night, the dreams which I go through, I balance what has happened in the day. In the day, you have insulted me a lot, or you have done something to me, you have not come on time, I'm irritated. That incident will be repeated over there, and I'll give you a piece of my mind and everything will be balanced over there. And those are the initial dreams of night which get sorted and into painful and not painful. As we progress into the second cycle of the night, again, the dreams are sorted according to those which are good for our well-being and those which are not. That is, the memories of the day are sorted. In dreams, the sorting happens. In deep sleep, the integration happens. It goes and mixes with the old memories. And This is the real function of sleep, which till now science is just, I think, on the verge of discovering these functions of sleep. But yoga has known about them for God knows when. Now, so we see that dreams connect to various levels of memory. And when we later on practice deeper aspects of sleep yoga, we can go into the past and also see how the past repeats in the future. But everything starts with lucid dreaming, so we'll have to start with lucid dreaming. All lucid dreaming starts with understanding our sleep cycles. According to science, we pass through two kinds of sleep: REM sleep and non-REM sleep. REM sleep is rapid eye movement sleep, where we are dreaming. The eyes are looking at the dream and the eyes are functioning in the dream. They're moving in the dream, and that is why it is called rapid eye movement. Maybe if you see a tennis match on TV and you see the spectators of the tennis match and their eyes will go this, right? Similarly, in the dream, our eyes are closed, but we are watching the dream. The eyes are moving. All lucid dreaming starts with waking up in this REM phase, waking up in the rapid eye movement phase. Now, before going further, I want to explain two words, which there is a difference between hours of sleep and the amount of rest we extract from sleep. Because many, what you call health dietitians, etc., the health experts and all, they say you must sleep for 8 hours. But a person may sleep for 2 hours and extract more rest than a person who sleeps 8 hours. And a person who sleeps 8 hours, he may wake up tired, right? So it is not how much you sleep, even though there's a lot of emphasis on these days. Are you getting 8 hours sleep, right? There's a lot of emphasis on that. The thing is that what is your capacity to extract rest from sleep? And this capacity will develop when we start working with our dream states and working with our sleep states. Now, in REM sleep, rapid eye movement, when we are dreaming, there is a lot of brain activity going on. But because we are enjoying the dream or whatever, our muscles are in a state of sort of relaxation. I am balancing an event. You got angry on me in the day, in the dream, I'm getting angry on you. I'm balancing an event. My muscles are relaxed. From REM sleep, dreaming sleep, we move into deep sleep. And in deep sleep, like we said, so many healing functions, restorative functions of the body are going on. And there is a different kind of relaxation. And we must understand these two types of relaxations. They're very important for a meditator, that one relaxation is in the brain is active and we are relaxed. And in the other, there is nearly absence of activity in the brain when we are in deep sleep and we are relaxed. These are two different kinds of relaxation. Now, people who suffer from sleep apnea, they do not get enough of non-REM sleep, the deeper sleep. But like I said, we will start our work with REM sleep, that is when we are dreaming. Now, in rapid eye movement, that is in REM sleep, there is twitching of the muscles, the brain is active, we are dreaming, and there is a state of sleep paralysis. Now, this is very important. The Tibetans recognize this, and the whole of their, what you call, dream yoga was based on this foundation of sleep paralysis. What is sleep paralysis? When I'm looking at something in a dream, at that moment, unless I'm conscious that I'm in a dream, I feel that this is really happening to me in life. So in a dream, if you're giving me a cup of tea and I'm not conscious that I'm dreaming, then I think you're really giving me a cup of tea. So in the dream, I lift my hand to take the tea from you. But on the bed, my hand remains on the bed. It does not rise in the bed to take the tea from you. And that is when we are in REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, there is a state of sleep paralysis. And this state of sleep paralysis can be, with conscious effort, it can be induced. And this is the real beauty in what you call dream yoga or in lucid dreaming. So when we consciously induce a state of sleep paralysis, we come to a state where we start dreaming and we are aware that we are dreaming. And this is the beginning of lucid dreaming. We will learn there are many ways in yoga to induce the state of sleep paralysis. Mainly it is by relaxing the muscles, going into yoga nidra, all that. We'll just talk about that later. First, we'll just have a glimpse of the sleep cycles and the brain waves they are connected with. Till recently, science was able to measure 4 kinds of brain waves. They are the beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Recently, they have come out with a profound discovery, and which they call the gamma waves. Of course, these gamma waves are not relevant to our sleep study, but the first 4 are very important: beta, alpha, theta, and delta. If we get time, we'll talk about the gamma waves later. In our normal waking state, when we are meeting and we are awake throughout the day, the wave patterns in the brain are what is called as beta. And there are so many, there is a great American guru who makes a certain, what do you call, amulet, which is called, he calls it the beta blocker, where you wear it and the cycles of beta sort of calm down in the brain. So here the frequency is about 13 to 40 hertz. That is how they measure these frequencies in the brain. Huh? The next state is the alpha state, where the frequency, the wave motion, it reduces below 13 and it is 8 to 30. Now, this is a very, very important state, and I want to talk about this before going into the, what do you call, different cycles of sleep. When we wake up in the morning, and we don't wake up immediately. Please don't wake up immediately. Most important, don't open your eyes. The minute light goes through the eyes, everything of the night is what you call rubbed off, erased. Light erases everything. Even at the moment of death, we see light, and light erases this light. That's the end of the matter. Morning, we see light, and light erases all the dreams of the night. Right? A child wakes up from his mother's womb, opens his eyes, his or her eyes, light goes in, all that happened in the womb is erased. Light is the great eraser. So When you wake up in the morning, first make it a habit not to open your eyes. Lie down on the bed on your back or whatever state you're in, maybe right, and try to sense through your body and feel the energies which are slowly waking up. In this state, we are in an alpha state. The morning, the first thought of the day, as the newspaper comes, we move from the alpha state to the beta state, and then the beta state is this brain chatter which goes on all the time, the monkeys chattering. So we don't want to move into the beta state. We want to remain in that alpha state of 8 to 13 cycles where we are very relaxed, very little interference of thought. Sense your energies, the pranas moving in the body. You can stretch the body a little. And when you stretch the body, the pranas and the energies will move a little faster. Now try to remain in that state, because it is a very relaxing state where you have not yet come to the beta, the brain is not active, it is still in that little silent mode, and try to remain there. In this state, whatever you think of will become more powerful. You see, when I'm chattering in the day, my brain is going at full speed chatter, right? I'm having 120 thought forms per second and 16 verbal thoughts per second. So each moment my brain is verbalizing 16 thoughts each second. Can you imagine how active it is? Now, if this can be reduced to even half, 7 or 8 thoughts per second, or even less than that, in that alpha state, then the potency of those thoughts increases. Now, you may want to go for an interview today to get a new job or something. And if in that alpha state you remember that you have to go for an interview, you just have a look, you visualize your interview and put in a thought, because it has come from that deep relaxed state where the thoughts have much more energy. There are not so many thoughts. The intensity of that thought will be much more powerful. And this we can do in this early morning period, just before waking up. Try to stay in that state for a couple of minutes. Try to, whatever is very important in the day, put a thought over there, and then open your eyes and start your day. So when we go to sleep at night, the first thing that the brain stops doing is it stops making language, and the verbalization stops, and the verbalization stops, and slowly this semi-hypnotic state of alpha comes in, the brain waves slow down. And we are bordering on the verge of sleep, somewhere between awakened and somewhere between, but we have not yet really fallen into sleep. One of the exercises which Mr. Tawaria used to give us was that to remain in that state before going to sleep and try to pinpoint the exact moment where we fell into sleep. It's a very difficult exercise, very, very difficult exercise, but he used to tell us to do this. Now, the way we go into sleep, we are entering into a deeper phase of the brain waves, where the brain waves are slowing down even further. Science today calls this alpha phase, the pre-sleep phase, this as the hypnotic phase, as hypnagogic imagery, hypnagogic imagery. And hypno means a gap. So the Tibetans have put in the use the word for gap as bardo, right? To have the ability to remain in the gap. And in this stage, we can have different experiences. Many people, they say so many dots in this phase. Many people, they see faces in this phase. Many people feel as if they are falling in this phase. Many people, they come out of this phase, so they feel as if they are in this hypnagogic phase, and suddenly there's a jerk and they like waken up. And this happens to many meditators. They go into a hypnagogic kind of state and then they wake up with a jerk. And so this is all happening in this pre-sleep stage. And I don't know if you know the story of in the Quran, they have a story of where Muhammad went into this state, and as he went into this state, his hand hit the glass. His hand hit the glass, and the glass fell off the table. And he went into this, and in that state, he went to heaven, or where all he went. And then he woke up with a jerk, and the glass had not yet touched the, floor. So in that space, in that gap, time and space compress like anything. And we want to make use of these two gaps, the one when we wake up in the morning and the one when we go to sleep at night. Please start with waking up in the morning. Start tomorrow. After a month, start with the night one. Don't immediately do the night one because we are too tired in the night to do that. But once we have practiced a little in the morning, then we'll be able to work with the night gap also. Now, this pre-sleep stage lasts for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then we go into a medium level of sleep where the brain waves move from alpha to theta. This is even slower. We saw alpha was from 8 to 13 hertz. Theta is from 4 to 8 hertz. And science today does not accept that there is any dream going on in the theta state. Shastra, when you read the conversations between Janak and Yagnavalkya, they talk about, you see, the Tibetans have talked about the dreams in the REM state and the pre-sleep state. As they are now talking about dreams in these states of medium level sleep and deep sleep, which science cannot catch, but they have talked about dreams in this state. So the second state is the medium level of sleep. We remain in this state for about 15 minutes, and then we move into deep sleep. The deep sleep is where there is the delta activity, which is 0 to 4 hertz. Hardly any brain activity, right? Our Shastras say in this deep sleep state, the Jeev, the soul, takes a journey and goes and meets the Atma, the spirit. It bathes in the light of the spirit. It comes out of that. And as we enter from deep sleep into medium sleep again, the soul comes back and remains in its place. So this is what the Shastra says. So this first deep sleep state lasts for, today science is saying 30 minutes. When I wrote my old notes on this somewhere in 1990, at that time they were talking about 1 hour to 45 minutes. But it seems with modernization, with the fast pace of life that the first 1 hour of deep sleep has now reduced to 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And this looks like it is not just something which is rare, it is something which is most common. Right? So we've lost that ability to remain in deep sleep. Our deep sleep period has sort of come down. Now, from deep sleep, again, we come into medium level of sleep, that is into theta, from delta into theta. And from theta, we now go back into the pre-sleep stage. But instead of the pre-sleep stage, the hypnagogic stage coming, the first dream of the night occurs. Now, try to understand this cycle. It's very, very important for us. We go to sleep, 5 minutes we are in a pre-sleep stage, then 10 to 15 minutes we are in a medium level of sleep stage, and then for 30 to 45 minutes we are in a deep sleep stage. So the whole thing has taken nearly 1 hour. After 1 hour, we are moving out of the deep sleep state into the medium level of sleep. We remain there for 5 minutes, and then we go into the pre-sleep stage. But instead of going into the pre-sleep stage, the first dream of the night, the REM dream, which lasts for about 10 minutes. And in that, we balance all the memories of the day. Now, again, from that REM sleep, we go into medium sleep for 5 minutes. After those 10 minutes or 15 minutes of the first dream, we go into medium level sleep for 5 minutes. And again, we enter into deep sleep. But now the deep sleep stage nearly cuts in half. If it was 45 minutes previously, now it will be 20 minutes. If it was half an hour, it will be about 15 minutes. So it will cut down the deep sleep state. Again, we'll come into medium level of sleep. Again, we'll come into the dream state, and that which was cut off from the deep sleep state will be added to the dream state. The first dream was for 10 minutes. If we were in deep sleep for half an hour, half of that is cut off. So 15 minutes is added to the dream state. The next dream will be for 25 minutes to 1 hour. And like I said, in the second state of dreaming, it's sort of we dream for the well-being of ourselves, for our well-being of the body, the healing of the body, etc. And again, the cycle repeats. But when the cycle repeats for the third time, the deep sleep state is hardly 10 minutes. And the dream state goes on up to half an hour to 40 minutes. And if the cycle repeats a fourth time till morning, then by morning, we get 5 minutes of deep sleep and we are dreaming for 40 to 45 minutes. And the cycle has gone upside down. It has turned its way. We started with 40 minutes of deep sleep. We now have 40 minutes of dreaming. Now, once we have understood this cycle of sleep, and we see that this cycle repeats like every 1 to 1.5 hours, there is a certain 1 to 1.5 hour cycle. And this cycle will repeat in the day also. If you go to office, say you reach office at 9 o'clock, then around 10:30, 1.5 hours after reaching office, you'll feel like having a coffee or something. Right? Because that sleep cycle, which was there in the night, is now repeating, and it is coming back to that state of REM sleep, the dream state, where we go into sleep paralysis. You will feel drowsy a little. You will feel your muscles are sort of this thing. I need a coffee break or something. I'm going to tell you how I used coffee. I want to tell you this because I'm not talking about the brainwave patterns and all that. So now we go into this. 4 to 5 times in the night. And we want to use this cycle for beginning in lucid dreaming. Now, there are many techniques available to wake up in the dream. So the first thing which we want to do is wake up early in the morning. Say we wake up at 4 o'clock. And we want to do something for 1 to 1.5 hours. So we know after 1.5 hours, the cycle is going to repeat. So you can do anything. I mean, you can watch a TV serial also, right? But I would prefer you do Mr. Tawaria's exercises and then practice some mantra for some time, maybe 20 minutes, preferably Omkar or any mantra. Now, in the dream, when we are in the dream, we are outside the dream. The body in the dream, even though it is myself, it is like I have created my avatar in the computer. Am I getting across in this? And that is called as the dream body. Now, whenever we practice mantra, the dream body is directly affected by that mantra. It expands. It is able to gain a little bit of consciousness in a certain way. So our idea is that we get up early, we can have a cup of tea, etc., finish all our stuff in the morning. And maybe we can then do the exercises for 20 minutes. And then another 20 minutes, we do some mantra. And in that mantra, the more guttural the mantra is, the deeper if it comes from. If you're saying the Omkar, you take it deep. And you bring it out, you're affecting your dream body before going into the dream. And this mantra brings consciousness to the dream body. Now we want to go into a state of sleep paralysis. So we lie down on the bed. We can use any tape of Yoga Nidra. There's so many available in the market, right? Even I've created one. And we relax different sets of muscles. Okay, now I forgot to tell you something, but I'll just come to that. We relax different sets of muscles till we come to a state where our body is totally relaxed. We can start with our toe, move up through the body to the head. Now, I want to tell you one more thing over here. And it has nothing to do with our today's webinar. It is something totally different. There are 3 levels of sex energy. The physical level, which we call as Shukra. The psychological level, which we call as Virya. And the spiritual level, which is called as Ojas. Ojas means light. Oj, light. Now, this has nothing to do with our webinar, but because I'm talking about this moving attention through the body, relaxing and coming to a state of sleep paralysis, which is the beginning of our dream, lucid dreaming, I just want to take this diversion and talk a little bit about this. Say I eat food today, and that food gets digested in 24 hours. The final product of that food is sex energy. The final product, so I've eaten the food. After 24 hours, the final product is sex energy. Of course, it goes through so many different transformations, and we'll talk about those some other day. But the final product is sex energy. But that is the physical sex energy. The physical sex energy. Now, once I start practicing relaxing my muscles in Yoga Nidra, I start with my toes and I move my attention throughout the body. And if I can take 30 rounds, if I can take 30 rounds every day, each round I'm pushing my muscles into deeper states of relaxation till they're totally paralyzed, as I'm paralyzed in the dream state. If I can take 30 rounds, then after 30 days, the food I've eaten today, which is physical sex energy, which is crude sex energy, it transforms into ojas, into spiritual sex energy. Now, I've just detracted from this just to explain to you that when we are practicing this, not only are we practicing for moving into our dreams, but we are also bringing about a tremendous transformation in the energies of the body, in the final product which comes from the food which we eat. It is transformed into a very highly powerful sex energy. This sex energy cannot be excited. Our sex energy is easily excited. I'm not just talking about male and female. It is excited by seeing ice cream in the stores, right? So, right. So this is the added benefit of moving attention in yoga nidra throughout the body. Now, if we can move it and come to a, what do you call, state where we are nearly paralyzed, then we turn on the right side and go to sleep. Just before going to sleep, tell yourself you'll wake up in the dream. Now, there are many induction techniques to wake up in the dream. I'm going to share the one which I used. I used only one and it worked for me. And this was around 1990, 91 when Mr. Tawaria was teaching all this to me. In those days, the alarm clocks used to come with a key. So if you have one at home, save it. Very precious thing, right? Now the alarm clocks are all digital. So I had this alarm clock and I would say 10-15 minutes to relax the body. And then I would turn and 5 minutes to go to sleep. And in that sleep, I've not yet moved into sleep properly. There is still a little bit of waking state. I'm moving into sleep. And I would arrange that alarm just 1 or 2 keys. I would only give it 2 turns or 1.5 turn, right? And I would put it at exactly 20 minutes. So here I'm relaxing my body. I'm moving through this state. I come to a deep state of relaxation. And if we put on the 3-step rhythmic breathing music very softly and breathe in rhythm, and we are also practicing the relaxation, it becomes doubly powerful. And then we continue breathing in rhythm and we turn on the right side. And that I turn on the right side, say at the 17th or 18th minute. At the 20th minute, that rings, tring. And because it is only 1 or 2 coils, it will just ring this much, tring. It won't ring the full coils, tring. Otherwise, I'll wake up from my sleep. I don't want to wake up from my sleep. I want a signal in my sleep that I have to look at my dreams. I don't know, have I come across in this? Please just give me a thumbs up on this, and I'll explain it again, the whole thing. Right? And this is the only technique which I use. In the books, there are a number of techniques which you can use, but this is the only one which I use. And it worked beautifully. And the lucid dreams just started after. And I was then able to bring about a state of sleep paralysis in the afternoon, sitting on a chair. And it became so habitual the way to do it. I do it even today, but now it just happens in seconds. So the first thing is you get up in the morning You know your sleep paralysis cycle is going to come after 1 hour to 1.5 hours. So you have your tea and finish your things, that's 20 minutes. Do Mr. Tawariyaji's exercises for 20 minutes. And then do mantra for 20 minutes. Then lie down on the bed in rhythmic breathing, keep relaxing the body, take 30 rounds in relaxing the body and turn on the right side. And as you turn on the right side, keep something which is in an induction. It induces you to wake up, not wake up from your sleep, but wake up in the dream, right? And there will be some ring or some bell will ring. And in that state, you know, this, I have to look at my dream, and you will become conscious that you're dreaming. And this is very important. The whole journey starts from here, right? And it will take a few months, but you'll be able to get it. I'm sure you'll be able to get it, right? So that is one thing. Now, after that, I developed one more technique, but this is a little advanced, but I'm going to share it with you now because you can start from now also. Now, one of the things which we can do is that when we wake up in the morning and we don't open our eyes, sense through the body and sense that there is a subtle body within my body. I'm feeling it like water. I'm feeling it like water. So in the beginning, you may not sense anything, but after a few days, you'll literally feel as if something is moving within you. It can go out of this body and it comes back in. It becomes small, it becomes big. And it is something like the Theosophists called it the etheric body. This is your dream body. Please understand, right? And we will sense, even before going in the dream, we will sense the dream body. We will be able to contract it a little. We will be able to expand it a little by just very relaxed giving it commands. Don't be in a hurry to do this. Just initially, just sense that there is a subtle body. There is an electromagnetic body, subtle body within this body of what do you call blood and bones. And try to just sense it, feel it in a very soft way. Try to command it to contract a little. Try to command it to expand a little, right? And over a period of time, you will sense this body. One number catch. So we have not taken that print up. Doesn't matter. No, not that. Anyway, I'll just talk about it just like that. No, it's not enough. So now, when you are after 2-3 months, once you're able to sense this, you can also do this after some time, just before going to sleep at night. When you're able to sense this subtle body inside, then you take a deep breath. You have sensed it for 5 minutes, and you try to pull it out of your body. Again, right? First, early in the morning, don't wake up. Don't open your eyes, most important. Feel the energies, lie down and try to remain in the alpha state. Now sense that there is a watery kind of body within this physical body, and that is moving a little. And over a period of time, few days only, you'll be able to sense something. Slowly feel that body. And after 2 to 3 months, you'll be able to contract it a little and expand it a little. Then after 3 months, you just say, take a deep breath and try to push it out, and it will come out and it will remain above this body. Later on, we can do this at night also, but at night it will be very difficult because when we go to sleep at night, we are very tired and it's difficult to do all this. In the morning, we've woken up fresh, we've done exercise, uh, and the minute we take it out of the body, turn on the right side and go to sleep immediately, you'll go in the dream, and without any other effort, you will be conscious in the dream. Not only will you be conscious in the dream, you will be very conscious in the dream. And this is another technique which over time, which I was able to work upon, right? So these are the two techniques which I have used, right? But when you read the books on lucid dreaming, there are dozens and dozens of techniques. But I just thought that rather than create confusion, just what I have done, I said I'll talk about it, right? Now, in lucid dreaming, we are not bothered about what is happening in the dream. And I stopped talking about this many years ago because my problem was that today I give a talk on dreams. From next morning, I start getting phone calls, or in my dream this came, and in my dream that came. And as if I'm a dream interpreter, people want me to interpret their dreams. So we are not bothered about what is happening in the dream. Anything can be happening in the dream. First of all, we are very interested in sensing ourselves. Who is dream? Who is this person in the dream? If in the dream my hand is becoming wet, what is that dream body? What is the sensitivity of that dream body? I don't know. So rather than the dream can be a good dream, a bad dream, it could be a dream about future, it could be a dream about past. Doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference to us. There are many ways to interpret a dream. I don't want to go into all that. But our thing is that, is there a sense of self in the dream? Is there a sense of the laws of dream? If I move through a wall, suddenly I realize that there's a difference between the laws of the physical world and the laws of the dream world. And over a period of time, try to increase this intensity of feeling of I in the dream, I watching the dream, I looking at the dream. Now, so this is the first thing. And there are three pillars over here. First is that we want to do it. There must be this inner thing that I want to do this, I want to practice this. The second thing is that we must increase our power of recall. That means that as soon as we wake up after all these practices in the morning, we write down whatever dreams we saw. A time will come where you'll be able to see 2-3 dreams at the same time. Right? When Mr. Tavaria was helping me through this, there was one night where I was seeing 7 dreams simultaneously. So that expansion of consciousness will start happening in the dream. Later on, we will talk about what to do in the dream, how to say mantra in the dream. We'll talk about that. But please try to come up to this practice that we have talked about till now. Right? And I want to tell you, before I go further, the story of someone. And this is a person I met 4 years ago. I met him in the US, in California. And he was telling me his story of 12 years ago at that time. He just died recently, I got the news. His name was Dean. And we had lunch together, and a friend of mine who was his friend had arranged lunch, and he said he wants to talk to you. And so he told me that 12 years before that, he had got cancer. And the cancer was such that it was not operable. The doctors could not operate upon that cancer. And he went to many surgeons in the US, and they said, unless the cancer separates a little, we cannot operate upon this cancer. You will have to go through chemotherapy, etc., etc. But we give you about 6 months to live. Then he started learning meditation from some American guru, and he started becoming lucid in his dreams. And one day, in the dream, he saw the cancer. And he took a knife and he cut out the cancer and threw it away. Next morning, he was feeling a surge of energy and very positive. So he went again to the doctor and says, can you re-examine me? And the doctors were shocked. They said the cancer has separated. We can now operate upon this cancer. And so he had an operation and he was free of that cancer for 12 years till he met me. And when he met me, the cancer had come back after 12 years. So, and he, died a few months ago. A few months ago, he phoned this friend of mine and he reminded him of this meeting which we had 4 years ago. And he says, what I told him there, it really helped him in these 4 years. And I said that we don't want to cure the cancer, just go through whatever the doctors say, but you now have a very specific time to live. Do in that much time what you've not done for 70 years. Try to bring consciousness to that moment of death. And he told my friend that what we talked about really helped him. So it was not that that elongation of life, but it was the quality of death, right? So when we are doing these practices, we do them for, we are practicing for a special purpose to bring consciousness either to the moment of death, or we know that after 1 hour after death, we are in the dream world, and now we are practicing in the dream world. It's nothing new for us. It's scenery which we have seen every day in our lives, right? Now, there are many things which we can do. And initially, when we enter into lucid dreaming, things will start happening in flashes. It is not, you may be aware of your dream for a few minutes, and then again you'll fall back into sleep. Again, next day you'll be aware for a few minutes, and slowly that, period will slowly start increasing. Second thing is that whatever we practice in the dream has an effect on the day. So if I'm observing in the dream, just observing what all my mind is creating, because the whole thing is a theater of my mind, right? So what my mind is creating, if I'm observing all that, then in the day, slowly I'll come to a state where self-observation will happen very easily. I'll observe my inner states, my inner reactions much more easier. Whatever I'm working on in a dream, I can bring that to the waking state, right? So if I'm playing the piano in the dream, then it has an effect on my playing the piano. If I'm solving a math problem in the dream, it has an effect on my capacity to solve math problems. Now, anybody going to the gym and practicing physical exercises, they leave marks on the body. Supposing I'm weightlifting, then it leaves a certain mark on the body. If I'm doing some certain stretch exercise, then stretch marks are left on the body. Similarly, as we learn to exercise our dream body, take it up, take it down in the air, expand it, contract it through the wall, those things which we are doing in the dreams, they leave pathways in our brain where neurons travel. We are creating new habits in the dream. And those habits, they move to our waking state. Now, before I end this, I just want to talk about one more thing. Yeah, but this is very, very advanced, but I'll just give you a slight glimpse of something. Can we, in an advanced state of dream yoga, can we talk to our dream body? Try to understand this, that I'm sitting outside the computer. In the computer, I've created an avatar of myself. I take that avatar into a beautiful surrounding. I put it near the sea, right? And that I say to that avatar in the computer, you meditate upon the sea. Does that virtual meditation which that avatar is doing in the computer have an effect upon me? Can you get what I'm trying to say? Supposing I'm practicing something in the dream. I'm practicing, there are 3-4 gangsters running behind me to beat me up, and I'm practicing how to avoid them, hide behind this, hide behind that, right? I've never done it in real life. And tomorrow, say somewhere it really happens, 3-4, it can happen. I go to South Africa every year, right? It can happen. It has happened to people in South Africa, right? And suddenly I see these 3-4 people are coming, but I'm hiding here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I've never learned how to do it, but I've done it in the dream. Okay, am I coming across in this? I have created a pathway in my brain. I have similarly, like I do it with the computer here, I'm observing my dream, but there is someone else who is me in the dream. And that is my dream body. As we become proficient in this, we learn to expand upon this. We'll be able to talk to our dream body. We'll be able to educate our dream body. Now, supposing I go through my life and I say, oh, where did I make the big mistakes in my life? I say, well, in my BA, all my friends went into economics. I should not have gone into economics. I should have taken English literature or something, right? And then I'll tell the dream body that in my next life, when this turn comes, at that time you prompt me to take literature, not to take economics. Can you understand? So I'm educating this dream body. It's like I have a, what do you call, pen drive in my computer where I'm feeding memory into it. Similarly, in this dream body, I'm feeding the memory. I'm talking to it every day. And a time comes when I have to leave this physical body. It's the end of the matter. Whether I'm conscious at the moment of death, whether I'm conscious at the moment in dreaming in the in-between period, whether I'm conscious at the moment of taking birth, whatever. But once I'm in the cradle and I am dreaming, the dream body will come to meet me. And that is the same dream body which will come to meet me. Because the electromagnetic field which the spirit, as it moves up between Mooladhara and Swadhisthana, as the electric current of the spirit moves up, which we call as Sushumna, the field which it creates is created out of the sanskars which it has collected. And it is the same dream body which will come to meet me. I've already educated it. It will tell me this, it will tell me that. And from 0 to 70 in my new life, it will always be there to tell me something. So, but that is a very advanced form of practice. And I hope in this life, we can reach up to that state. We start with lucid dreaming and we reach to a state where all our wisdom of this life we feed it into someone and tell that guy, okay, you meet me again and bring all that wisdom with you, right? So this is how we enter. I hope I've been able to explain it. So if there are any questions, I'll take the questions. Yeah.
Those who want to ask any questions can, just unmute themselves.
Yeah, I have a question. गौर साहब,
Yes, sir.
मेरा एक सवाल है.
Sorry,
Rajen
you'll
bhai.
have to repeat. My speaker was off, if you don't mind. If you don't mind repeating.
Rajen bhai, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear.
So when I try to really ask myself as to what I have understood of all whatever you have told us about it, it takes me back to my own experiences almost repeatedly for last several years. Now,
Very
this
good.
is nothing. I'm not asking you to interpret my dream, but I'm just telling you what kind of a dream is there and what I need to do to, get out of it, or I don't know how to put it across. So it's like this, very briefly. The story may change, the location may change, but the content is always the same. The example is that I got down from the train to fetch some water. The train moves. I can't catch the train, it moves. After that, I'm running behind the train. And then I seek help from somebody. That somebody tries to help me, but later on abandons me. Then I move across to someone else. That someone else also that pretends to help me, but then abandons me till a situation comes when, suddenly, it becomes a nightmare, and then I wake up, and it usually happens early in the morning. Now, this is the kind of a situation, and it has been happening. Now, with the practice which you are telling, as I see, if I was to live in this dream, probably I would be living in a dream or talking to a dream which is scaring me all the time. So I don't know if I have put across what I am telling you. And not that I also claim that I have understood everything what you said earlier as to how to kind of be in the different stages of sleep and different stages of dream, and be conscious of dream and talk to your dream and so on. So my question may not be very clear, but I hope I have conveyed what I wanted to.
So the first thing you should do is, before you do anything else, is get a good magnet and put it under your pillow.
Okay.
So the electromagnetic body is aligned in the dream, and the nightmare immediately goes away.
Okay.
So this is the first thing. As a repair action, get a good magnet and put it under your pillow. Right? If you get a bar magnet, then you arrange it with the north and south of the earth. If you get a round magnet, these days you get excellent Chinese, very powerful magnets, which are so small, which were not available in the old days. And see that the north side is facing up. Right? And then tell me whether you get the dream again. And
all right, this is about the Chinese magnet. What about the bar magnet you said?
No. If you get a bar magnet, then the bar magnet is like this.
Right.
So arrange the north with the north of the earth and the south with the south of the earth.
All right.
That's
Okay.
the way you put it under the pillow.
Okay.
Right? But if you
Got
get
it.
a round magnet, then north will be up and south will be down. No?
Got
so
it.
Keep the north up and the south down.
Got it. Got it.
That is one thing. Now, if you can wake up in your dreams, and the practice which I've given is that to wake up early in the morning. I don't know whether you're going to do that or not. But if you're thinking about doing that, then I'm hoping you come to a stage where you are conscious in the dream. One of my teachers had a very simple saying, sir. The spirit, the Atma, can only see. It cannot do anything else. As long as I'm observing, it is a function of the spirit. As long as I'm thinking, it is not a function of the spirit. In this moment, am I thinking or am I seeing? Right? So what is the dream is not more important. Am I separate from the dream and observing the dream is important. But whether, I don't know whether you'll be able to practice and come to that state. I hope you do. But first thing, get a magnet and put it under your pillow, and then let me know. Let me know, right? Okay. And if possible, get 2 more magnets, very powerful magnets, right? And 1 north and 1 south. Put 2 bottles of water in the morning, and next day morning, pour both of them together and drink that water. So you'll have 1 liter from here, 1 liter from here. Drink it over the day and put new water, and slowly your whole electromagnetic field of the body will slowly get repaired in so many places. So these kind of dreams won't come.
Just to repeat, you said 2 more magnets, 1 north and 1 south.
Can you bring my magnets? They are lying near my matka.
Because the magnet will have both
Take the
poles.
bottles out of the magnet. I'll just show you.
Yeah.
Bring 1 bottle also. Right. 2 magnets, 1 north and 1 south.
So that's what my question is, Rajen Bhai. Magnets have both poles. Whatever be the magnet, it will have north and south both.
Exactly. So one you will keep north up and the other you will keep south up.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Rajen Bhai, even I have a question.
South. This is south, right? So I can keep water like this on south, and this is north. So I can keep water like this on north.
Got it. Got it.
Got it? These are very powerful magnets, right? And you can then drink that water after 24 hours. And always drink this water.
But where do you get these? I mean, you said if I can get these magnets, I mean, where is there any?
I'll ask someone who does it, and I'll give it to Keto. Will find out, and he'll send the link to Gorji. He'll send the link.
Deeply obliged. Deeply obliged.
So this is a very good thing which everyone can do. It's not just that you do it, but the magnetic water, to me, it is more powerful than eating ghee.
Grateful, 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 Rajen Bhai.
Rajen Bhai, I can just share something about what you said just now.
Please, please.
About being in the dream and knowing whether one is really watching it or one is getting involved in it.
Yes.
So I used to have the same kind of nightmares as Shukla sir has mentioned. And there were many times when in the middle of the night I would suddenly wake up, or early morning I would wake up because I was seeing something which was very disturbing. But over a period of time, the nature of the dream did not change. But my experience changed. I became more of a witness to the dream.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And it stopped affecting me. And then the awareness came that this is a dream that I am watching. And the awareness also came that this is a dream. This is not the real thing.
It's our own mind which creates it.
Yes. So this is what I wanted to share, because you said that are you really watching it or you are getting involved in it? So,
but you have to come to that state of watching, which is really beautiful.
So, and Usha Gupta ma'am wants to ask something.
Yes,
so
yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Rajen Bhai, good evening. Good evening. I'm not at all an evolved soul or anything, but I think, but yes, I don't know I don't know where I stand in I don't know what I am, but what the thing is happening with me quite often is that supposing there is a problem in my life, relating to my family, my children, my husband, I get solution in my dream, like I would say a lady in white skin will come, and from that day onwards my problem will solve. But the other things also happen. People come in my dreams, and then bad things start happening, and I get that message in the morning. I don't know how to get over that. I don't know how to solve it, because if it is a illness in the family, I will get a message. If something very, very drastic happens, I get a message. And how to solve it, I just keep watching, and I feel very, very, very upset about it.
No, you're what do you call identified. You're not watching. So
I have not identified. No, I'll tell you, like just before this COVID happened, I saw a lady with two bag rolls and said, "Here I am taking." So first, my son and my daughter-in-law got admitted in the hospital. They came out. Then I and my husband got admitted in the hospital, and then uh, about 2 days ago, I saw a man, a black man, having a lot of red things. What was he doing? I don't know. And there was a lot of emotional turmoil in the family. And again, my son got readmitted. So what are these things? Why do they happen? I don't know. I just wanted to know this. I sent you a message also.
You did? Oh, I didn't.
Long ago. Yeah, prior to that.
Right.
So what are these things? Because, a good thing happen, I get the message in my dreams. Bad things happen, I get a message. But I'm not able to do anything about it. I have to either enjoy it or bear it.
Yeah. The thing is that you get involved in the state that you feel either good or bad about it. And
it's like
in many dreams, you see the future, because the future is many times just a repetition of the past. And you see this cycle of time repeating itself. And I would again suggest you put use a magnet under your pillow.
Okay. Okay.
Are you doing Mr. Tawaria's exercises?
Little bit. Not. I've just started. Not yet.
Okay,
yeah.
Please block your right nostril.
Okay.
Block the right nostril from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. Take a little bit of cotton. Right? And just put it into the nostril. If it gets wet, change it. And 1 to 4 in the afternoon, please block it. It will separate the sensitivity from the sensitiveness. What is happening now is you're moving into sensitiveness.
Yes. Yes.
There you'll come to a state where there's a little sensitivity. You'll be able to bear it and all. It is there. You just look at it. Right?
Okay. And if I see a problem, perceive a problem, can I solve it? Because I get the warning in the morning that in my dream that some bad thing is happening. Can I prevent it from happening?
Definitely. Definitely. You must. That is the whole meaning of being aware of something.
So how to do it? It will happen gradually.
Whatever. There's this story of this lady. This is a red story. The one which I told you of Dean was a real story, the person I met. And her son was a mountaineer. And he used to go travel everywhere. And he would be away from home for 6 months at a time. And she got a dream that her son slipped from the ledge somewhere and fell down and died. Again, she got the dream the next day. The third day she got the dream, she put her hands over there and pushed him back on the ledge. And this repeated a couple of times, and she did that. After a few months, her son returned. And they were talking. He says, well, something very funny happened, because the person who is climbing first, he's putting in the, for the others. So others cannot fall. They are saved by the rope. But the first person can fall. And he's saying, I was holding on to something which came out and I slipped and there was no way I could have been saved. But at that moment, a very strong gush of wind came. It just gave me that moment that to where I could catch the ledge and I was able to save myself. Now, this is a story, but she changed it. Can you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So you can change it. But the thing is that if you bring aware, now let me tell you one more thing.
I need to work very hard for it, I think. A long way.
In the dream, there is no difference between thought and action. Right? I want to meet you. You will say, I'm busy for next few days. Don't phone me till. But in the dream, I think of you, you're there. You understand what I'm trying to say? So in the dream, you say, this should change. It changes immediately.
Okay.
In the dream, you say that this should go away. It goes away immediately. Mr. Shukla, please understand. You say this train should go away. It'll go away. Yeah. But you have to remember to say it.
Right.
So in the dream, time and space is compressed. You say this should go away. It'll go away. This should change. It will change. But we must remember to do that.
Got it.
And that very recalling, that is the whole basis of lucid dreaming. Okay.
So when should one say, like you said, that I should say that this should go away? Meaning, I mean, this kind of a thing should not happen. But every time I'm getting lost, eventually I have to suggest myself not to. This should not happen. This can happen in the waking stage.
No, when you go to sleep, just before you go to sleep, tell yourself, when the dream comes, I will change the dream.
All right.
And you will do it a couple of times, but after a month or so, you will change the dream. You will wake up in the dream and you change the dream.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Swati? Yes, Swati, you can ask your question.
Namaste, Rajan bhai.
Namaste, bolo.
Actually, I don't have a question, but a request. Like 2 years back, you were in the Cape Town, and you know how you used to start the whole session with meditation, like 5 minutes relaxation meditation. So just a request, like, can we do with these sessions? Because it helps a lot to hold a presence during the whole session. So, and it makes a lot of sense, like, to the whole webinar or whatever you call it. So it's just a request, like, with these sessions, can we do that now?
I think Gorje is going to do a relaxation meditation at the end.
Rajan wants it in the beginning so that she can maintain that state.
Yes, we'll do it from next time in the beginning.
Oh, thank you so much.
Usually, sir, in all my talks, I do it in the beginning.
Okay, so we can just do it in the beginning.
So that actually helps a lot, you know, the whole session.
And Lakshmi, you
want
to
ask? How should I deal with this? Somebody else has asked a question. How should I deal with this? I don't get it.
Yes, Lakshmi ji, please ask your question, Lakshmi ji.
Rajan sir, will this method apply to people who don't generally dream at all?
No, we do dream, but we don't know that we are dreaming.
Okay.
So
very rarely I'm aware of my dreams. Very rare.
You're a fortunate person, but
no, but I'm missing this method.
You must do this. I'll tell you, I was so passionate about it that in the 90s, I used to keep an alarm every 1.5 hours. So in the night, I would wake up 4 or 5 times and go back to sleep to go get into the sleep paralysis state. Right? To practice, to do this practice.
So with this practice, I'll start getting dreams.
Please do it. Wake up in the morning and go back to sleep after an hour.
Okay.
Right. Somebody else asked a question. I've got very vivid dreams where I feel I'm watching a dream. Then I want to change the scene. Many times I wake up and feel that
Deepa Krishan, I can just pin her. So instead of your reading, where is Deepa? Deepa, are you there? Is your video on?
No. See,
but,
try to sense who is watching the dream.
Deepa, she's there. Where are you?
Yes, sir, she's here. Can you see her? I have.
Yeah. See, you're aware in the dream. Now ask the question, who is watching the dream? Try to have a sensitivity of the person who's watching the dream, the person who is experiencing the dream. That is the dream body.
Okay.
Try to ask that question over there. That is very important. What is the dream is not important. Right? What is important is this, there is a sensitivity of eye. Right? So try to work with that. I'll give you another thing that, like you said, you go back into the dream. There is a technique of going back into the previous dream. Right? And that is when you are lying down on the bed like this, right? You feel the subtle body inside and you turn it anti-clockwise, you'll go back to your previous dream.
Okay.
Right? And you can go back to your previous dream and again work upon it. Now you come out of the dream, right? And suddenly you realize that you wanted to do this in the dream, then close your eyes, try to recreate that state. And if you can feel the subtle dream body inside, rotate it this way, anti-clockwise, you'll go back to your old dream and you'll change what you want to change.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to ask? Is there anyone else? Okay, sir.
Okay. We are early today. Good.
Right. There is one question from Sapna. My mother sees a lot of dead family members in her dreams.
See, death in the dream is not always death of a person. Death in the dream is sometimes a very good sign that something old and useless is going to die and something new is going to happen. So don't always count death in the dream as real death in life. It does happen. I mean, Abraham Lincoln did see himself dying in the dream, but he didn't realize it was himself. But usually death in the dream has a different significance.
Rajan bhai, I think her question is more of an experience, that what she says is that my mother sees a lot of her dead family members, I mean ancestors who have passed away. She sees them and she feels that they are coming to bless her.
Well, that's good enough.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good enough. Yeah. Yes. Take the blessings.
And she is asking that she sleeps for maybe 3-4 hours at night. Can the magnet thing you mentioned be kept with her, and then she will not see them? That is what she is asking.
No, if she's enjoying seeing them, don't put the magnet. Huh? Very good. If you're sleeping 3-4 hours, it's very good, but do take a 20-minute nap in the day sometime. I forgot about, sir, that coffee thing I wanted to tell.
Yes, please go ahead.
She reminded me about that 3-4 hours. One of the things which I found very good was to have coffee. Now, the idea to have coffee is to have the coffee fast and immediately relax the body and go to sleep. Don't take 10-15 minutes to relax. Relax it in 5 minutes. Move your attention fast. Turn on the right side and go to sleep. And allow the effect of coffee to come in the dream. Now, coffee, the real effect of coffee takes 20 minutes. Right? So you have this 10-15 minutes where you can relax the body, turn on the right side, say you want to wake up in the dream. It will take 10-15 something, and then the effect of the push of coffee will come, and you'll be observing your dreams. And that is one way you can use coffee. Tea cannot be used in this way, even though I'm a tea drinker, but I used to use coffee in this way.
So will this be a good solution for my problem of not dreaming or feeling like I'm not dreaming?
But please, after 1 hour after getting up, 1.5 hours, 1 to 1 hour. Can't hear.
Sir, there is some Pankaj Sutaria. He has unmuted himself.
Oh.
Mr. Pankaj, you want to ask?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. Can you please switch on your video also that I can pin you?
Okay.
Still, I can't see you, sir. Hold on. So you have to switch on your video. Yes, sir.
You'll have to unmute yourself. Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sir, you have to unmute
You
yourself.
have to unmute yourself. You're mute.
Okay. Okay. Sir, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Sir, I have
Still, I can't see you, sir.
a dream. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, sir. I have a.
Switch on your video.
Yes, I started. I can see. Yes. Sir, I have a dream, and in dream always I feel fear. મને ડરામણા ને બિહામણા સ્વપ્ન આવે છે.
You need to use a magnet.
Okay, sir. Can Sir, મને રાત્રે ડરામણા સ્વપ્ન આવે છે.
એટલે you need to use a magnet.
No.
And also block the right nostril 1 to 4.
Yes, that I am doing.
Yes, I started. And I can send you some medicines for fear.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. I have a dream, and in dream always.
I can't understand.
There were two persons on the same, so there was a lot of echo going on. Maybe someone else was also.
Right.
Nishant, you have a question? Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So if we do the alarm clock method, can we still have a restful night where we can go to work the next day?
Do it on Saturday, sir. You're talking about every 1.5 hour?
Yeah.
Every 1.5 hour?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then do it on Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday. What's the time there just now?
It's 7:40 in the morning.
Okay, good. Good to see you.
Yeah, it too. Right.
I think Suchismita Palai has a question that can we see God in our dreams? That is it. I don't know whether
We can imagine God in the dream.
Yeah.
Right. A time will come when we'll go into deeper states of sleep, and we will then be able to get glimpses of the divine light. But first we work in lucid dreaming, then dreams as yoga, and then we take our consciousness into deeper states of sleep. Those are very deep practices, but we can talk about it some other time or something.
I think that will prepare us for astral travel also.
Right.
We become conscious of the etheric body.
Yes. Astral travel is in many forms, so we'll talk about that some other time. There are different forms of astral travel. Just now we'll only talk about dream body and dream body travel.
Sir, what's next? It's 6:15 now.
So I think
Next
anybody
Tuesday,
else?
Sir, there are few more questions. Bhavya, you want to ask a question? Bhavya, where are you?
Yes, I would like to.
Yes, Bhavya, wait. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Rajen bhai.
Good evening. Good evening.
Uncle, the question is કે જ્યારે આ પ્રયોગો કરીએ છીએ ત્યારે દિશાઓ કેટલી મહત્વ રાખે છે કે કઈ દિશામાં સૂવું કઈ દિશામાં માથું રાખવું?
He's asking in which direction to sleep. When you're doing dream yoga, your head should be in the north direction, not when you're sleeping at night. But when you're practicing yoga nidra and dreaming, try to keep it, if it's possible. In Bombay, things are not possible, but otherwise try to keep your head in there. right? Bombay, you have to sleep wherever your bed is. So I suppose try to keep it in the north direction.
Rajan, I have a separate question.
Nishant, go ahead.
Yeah, EJ mentions, playing certain video games, which are actually dark. Is it anything related to this dream?
It can be. We'll talk about it some other time. That is why I gave that example.
Okay.
Of those gangsters running behind me. We'll talk about it some other time.
Okay.
Yes, sir. No more questions now.
No more questions. Okay. I think we have run out of time for meditations.
Can we keep a light topic next time?
Rajan bhai, you suggest?
Food and astrology.
Food and astrology. Oh, that's wonderful. I think we will attract many more people to the webinar.
Keep a light topic next time.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful.
Okay, sir.
But we will begin with meditation.
Right. We'll begin with the meditation.
And maybe, if people are not doing solidify exercises, maybe a few minutes you could just...
We can do that. We can do that.
Lead people through the
review through the exercises.
So that people get hands-on experience. So thank you, Rajan bhai. It has been a very, very interesting session, and it has evoked such a wonderful response from people. Everybody is so excited. And I tried to practice for a few days, and I could really feel that I was able to get up in the later part of the night and write a detailed account of my dream, because I was more aware of watching the dream, and I would really write it well.
Very good.
Otherwise, one has a general sense of the dream, and one may not remember all the finer details of it. But there it was very easily possible for me to really experience it as it was happening. And when I got up, the memory was so fresh that I could write it nicely in the journal.
Very good.
But I have not been able to sort of do it as often as I should be doing. That's the problem. So thank you once again, Rajan bhai. And we'll end with the closing mantras. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Nath Maharaj ki jai. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. And thank you, Rajan.